You filthy swines! Get in here, sit down, and behave yourselves. I'm going to read some stuff. You might like it, I don't know. Maybe you won't, I don't know, but I will. Keep hearing interesting stuff about that 3i Atlas object that apparently has been accelerating away or doing funny things, behaving very abnormally, similar in some ways to a Muamua which cruised through the solar system a few years ago. With this article on grahamhancock.com, written by Andrew Collins, a synchronization detected between 3i Atlas's 16.16-hour light variability cycle and the Earth's 24-hour solar day. I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd. If you were trying to signal that an object is unnatural, you might do something like this. You might you might position a moon to be exactly the same size as the sun at a certain distance when an eclipse happens, which is a weird anomaly if you've noticed that. But this one, let's see what this is all about. Abstract. Monitoring and tracking 3i Atlas, the solar system's third confirmed interstellar visitor, has been one of the most exciting challenges in science in recent years, since its presence in our skies was first confirmed by the NASA-funded Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System, ATLAS. They shoehorned that in there. Telescope at Rio Hurtado, Chile, on July 1st, 2025. There has been debate over whether it is simply a very ancient comet or an alien spaceship. The present author has proposed a third alternative, which is, with this being that 3i Atlas is a directed comet, a sentient life form displaying clear intelligent actions. If correct, then they are directed comets able to broadcast information that is meant to be received, translated, and understood by intelligent life on planets such as our own. On that basis, we look at 3i Atlas's light variability cycle of 16.16 hours and find that it is strangely synchronized with the Earth's 24-hour rotation cycle. This reveals the apparent importance of a unit of time measurement equaling 144 seconds, a value utilized by at least 3 ancient civilizations. This exercise additionally highlights the apparent significance of the number 196, the lowest so-called littoral number, which may possess a cosmological significance similar to the fine structural constant, which I don't know about. In July, a cycle of light variability of 16.6 hours was detected in connection with 3i Atlas. Initially, this was thought to have been caused by the rotation of an elliptical nucleus with an axis ratio of 0.8. Observations of 3i Atlas since that time have made it clear that this interpretation of the comet's light variability appears unconnected with the comet's elliptical shape, as the changes are occurring as regular pulses emitted by the object's diffuse coma. It has now been proposed that 3i Atlas's periodic brightening is likely the result of jets being outgassed from localized ice pockets on the rotating nucleus, creating a kind of heartbeat. To date, no other detectable cycles have been reported in connection with 3i Atlas, making it difficult to determine whether its passage through the inner solar system might contain interpretable data that could suggest a sentient nature. With this knowledge, and assuming that there might indeed be intelligent data encoded in 3i Atlas's journey, we will have to cast the net more widely to explore this possibility further. For this, we look at the relationship between the comet's acknowledged 16.16-hour light variability cycle and the Earth's solar day, which from one noon to the next is 24 hours in duration, this being equal to 1,440 minutes or 86,400 seconds. The sidereal day is 23 hours, 56 minutes and 4 seconds in length. As a fraction, 16.16 hours becomes 16,4 divided by 25, showing that the entire value can be broken into 404 units, equaling 1/25th, i.e. 16/25 times 25 plus 4 divided by 25th equals 404 divided by 25th. Of course, everybody knows this. This is very obvious, yes, indeed. A false fraction totaling 404 divided by 25th suggests a time measurement equaling 1/25th of the original 16.16-hour light variability cycle. This amounting to, okay, you're giving me lots of numbers. Fluff them up a bit for me, sir. The Earth's daily rotation across the course of 24 hours is 600 of these same 144 second units of time measurement, i.e. 600 times 144 seconds equals 86,400 seconds. That is 1,440 minutes and 24 hours. Interesting. So it's exactly matching our 24-hour cycle. Well, 12-hour cycle. Is that what I'm getting at there? So whereas 3i Atlas's light variability cycle of 16.16 hours consists of 404 units of 144 seconds, the rotation of the Earth is 600 of these same units, showing that the whole number ratio between these two cycles is 404:600, which can be reduced to 101, well, it can if you want, colon 150 if you wish. A common year of 365 days is 87,600 hours. That is 525,600 minutes, or a whole bunch of seconds and some units and blah, blah, blah. Sorry, I'm skipping that because more numbers. Let's not get obsessed with numbers, but this is the crux of it, right? As we see next, a unit of measurement equaling 144 seconds features in the timekeeping of at least 3 ancient civilizations well versed in astronomy and celestial cycles. Ancient Chinese timekeeping. In ancient China, 144 seconds was a unit of measuring time known as the minor key. The primary key or major key was 1/100th of a day, 14 minutes and 24 seconds, or 864 seconds, meaning it was equal to 6 minor key. Okay, I thought the point of this article was we were going to be delving into the synchrony between the rotation of 3i Atlas and the Earth's rotation, but now we're going into ancient Chinese timekeeping, Hindu timekeeping, Mayan. This is surpassing my desire to read. A whole bunch of numbers thrown at us, and I'm not inclined to pass through this. Should we skip to the end? Hindu timekeeping. The problem I have with numerology and a lot of the number obsession is that you can derive significance by comparing multiple things with each other and going, aha, look at that, there's a similarity there. Now, if we're saying the rotation of 3i Atlas is roughly 12 hours, and 2 of those is 24 hours, that's kind of weird. That's weird. I'd say, you know what, that is weird. But what becomes even more weird is that you're obsessing about these other details, the Mayan calendar. I'm not exactly sure the point of the rest of this. Are you saying these aliens were in communication with ancient civilizations and they are using this to signal something or other? I mean, maybe. I don't know why they do that. Are they not going to signal us? I don't know. But if you were an alien and you wanted to get the interest of other species out there, sending anomalies to orbit stars might be a way of doing it. It might be a way of getting the interest of whatever sentient species are there, but it's a bit of a stretch. Let's start from here. The 196 problem. Turning our attentions now to the whole number ratio, 404,600, we can see that subtracting 404 from 600, we arrive at 196. Oh my God, not that number. This is a very important number in computational mathematics, where it is known as the 196 algorithm or the 196 problem, since it is the best candidate for a so-called Lycral number. This refers to the mathematical problem that computer programmers have been attempting to solve since the 1960s, which is to find the lowest integer that, through the process of adding itself with its reverse form, then adding these together and doing the same and so on and so forth, we will eventually end up with a palindrome that is the mirrored number. Okay, it has been determined that 196 is likely the lowest valued integer that, no matter how many computations are made, does not become a palindrome. In 2011, 1 billion iterations were used by a computer programmer and developer Romain Dolbeau to show that 196 could still not be made into a palindrome. And in doing so, this produced a number with 413,930,770 digits. Then in February 2015, Dolbeau again attempted the same computation, this time reaching 1 billion digits without changing 196 into a palindrome. There are higher integers that are also suspected of never becoming palindromes, such as 295, 394, 493, 592, and of course, the bloody 196. Reverse form 691. Oh, of course. But 196 remains the lowest potential Lycral number. This apparently unique status of the number 196 as a Lycral number has aroused interest in its perhaps having a cosmological significance similar to 137. Oh, not 137 now, or particularly its inverse form, 1 divided by 137. Okay. The value of the fine structure constant. This refers to the determinable interaction between electromagnetism and photons of light. Speculative theories regarding 196 suggest it could relate to the process of non-locality, where entangled particles are able to pass information instantaneously through non-local medium thought to exist outside of physical reality. In other words, 196 becomes the glue that sustains the existence of non-local communications, allowing quantum exchanges to take place. Experiments have shown that when combined with the values of phi and the golden ratio, 196 reveals more unique properties, including the ability to create fractals. The number 196 is, as previously stated, generated through the difference between 3i Atlas's light variability cycle and the Earth's rotation cycle, this being 404 times 144 seconds. So the fact that 404 plus 196 is 600 is notable, especially since 404 is a palindrome, while 196 is a kind of anti-palindrome in that it can never become one. Certainly not. See, you're finding significance in all sorts of numbers, you know? And I'm not sure how many steps of leaps of faith do you need with these significant oddities in the numbers before you go, hang on, we've gone a bit far now. Maybe we shouldn't assume patterns, this far down the road. All this, of course, could simply be a series of unrelated coincidences. Basically, yes, this could be. If this proves to be the case, then by all means, treat the contents of this paper as a thought experiment in the manner of that. In the future, we can search for intelligent mathematical data being broadcast by interstellar visitors. That said, there are enough curiosities here for us to take a pause and look more closely into whether there is any real meaning in this information. If there is, then the scientific community should be encouraged to monitor interstellar visitors for the potential of them not only being sentient, but also having the ability to convey intelligent signals by any number of means, whether this be through light variability, color changes, radio broadcasts, cyclic synchronizations, or perhaps all of them. This subject is broached in the present author's previous paper, where it was proposed that 3i Atlas could be a sentient being with a nucleus that has been perfected across anything between 3 and 11 billion years. That's a massive leap of faith there. Huge. Moving on. Its body has evolved in ways similar to how the human body has gradually evolved from its earliest ape-like ancestors, much as you are. I mean, this is wacky. What are you talking about? You know nothing about this nucleus, 3 to 11 billion years. What are we talking about here? Its nucleus evolving. Why are you making this comparison? You've jumped the shark here. Through this process, 3i Atlas has arguably attained a sentience of a type previously unrecognized by science. Indeed, the many anomalies associated with 3i Atlas strongly hint that it is not a mundane comet, but what might be described as a directed comet. It seems most likely that during journeys through the interstellar medium, which could last as much as 10 million years before the next star system is reached, any consciousness or intelligence attached to the object like 3i Atlas would exist only in cryogenic state, either within the depths of the core or beyond in a quantum non-local state, as the sort proposed by theoretical physicist David Bohm back in 1960s. Then, after entering the star system like our own, stellar winds and radiation from the star activate the coma, creating an isospheric plasma environment. This allows the intelligence to rise up and occupy the plasma. This is very sci-fi. Thereafter, the intelligence in question can direct the actions of the object and establish links with the star system, prompting the star to release coronal mass ejections to boost its energy and stabilize its coma and nucleus. This will continue until the object leaves behind the influence of the star. Thereafter, the intelligence becomes dormant until the next time the comet enters the star system and the whole process starts again. These are giant leaps of faith. If such intelligences do exist, and I approve of leaps of faith, then it seems unlikely they are acting without purpose. meaning that they have a set function that is implemented when they enter a star system. We can speculate that these missions will involve fine-tuning the object's course, spreading the building blocks of life which have been found in 3i Atlas in the form of 2 organic molecules, and communicating information to anyone with eyes to see or ears to listen. Such broadcasts might be both impersonal, similar to that of an aircraft transceiver, and more personal, in that they could be directed towards any intelligent life detected within the star system in question. Comet fractalization. If this is correct, then synchronizing the light variability cycle with a rotational cycle of an inhabited planet like the Earth might indeed be possible, and with it could come very specific data of potential cosmological significance. Indeed, it could revolutionize our understanding of what is termed cosmic mathematics. This is the study of the universe's structure, evolution, and fundamental laws, with particular reference to Vedic cosmological systems that see both long and short-term cycles in terms of very specific fractionalization processes. Oh, we're delving back into numbers. Oh no, more numbers. A perfect example of this fractionalization process can be found in the Srimad Bhagavatam, also known as that, accredited by them. Bunch of Hindus threw numbers around, out popped more numbers. What a surprise. Now, maybe it takes an autist with an obsession with numbers to find patterns like this that are significant. So even if I'm having a laugh and joking around, maybe this chap is correct. Maybe there is something fishy about the comparison between its rotation and the Earth's rotation. If you wanted to test the intelligence of a species, you might play games like this. You might do stuff that gets their attention and gets them thinking. Because if you're trying to grade intelligence, even though I'm joking about the complexity of these algorithms or whatever he's throwing around, it's a requirement of intelligence to be able to pick apart that kind of complexity to see meaning. So it could be legitimate. I don't know. Just as this article goes to press, news comes of a second or revised cycle of activity recorded in connection with 3i Atlas. It was obtained from monitoring the comet across 37 nights between July the 2nd and September the 5th, 2025, using the imaging capabilities of the 2-meter twin telescope at the Teide Observatory in Tenerife, Canary Islands, Spain. On 7 nights, it detected a faint high-latitude jet in the inner coma of 3i Atlas that remained at the same basic angle throughout these observations. This is seen to be caused by a precessional motion around the sky-projected spin axis of the nucleus, the first detection of its kind. So there's a jet coming out of one of the poles. Is that what you're saying? Because it's not, the jet angle is not moving. It must be coming from one of the poles. Sounds like a propulsion jet, maybe. Could be. These observations imply a periodicity of 7.74 hours, with a full nucleus rotation period of 15.48 hours, providing that the jet comes from a single active source near one of the poles. This new value is still within the parameters of the 16.16-hour light variability cycle cited in the article, which the authors of this new study suggest should now be replaced with this new estimate. Whether or not this is the case remains to be seen, although it is worth looking at the cyclical numerics behind the 15.48 rotation cycle to see whether it conforms to the proposed synchronization between 3i Atlas and the Earth's 24-hour rotation cycle. So as somebody else came back and said, look, it's rotating differently, and you're going, wow, that sucks. I thought I had an idea there. A rotation cycle of 15.48 hours is equal to, here we go again, 928 4/5 minutes, or 55,728 seconds, which is 387 units of 144 seconds. This tells us that this new periodicity does indeed synchronize with the Earth's 24-hour light variability cycle. The whole number ratio between them being 387 and 600. In mathematics, 387 is a composite number known for its prime factorization of 387 equals 3 to the power of 2 times 43, meaning that 15.48 hours can be divided into 43 units of 1,296 seconds, or 1,290 blah, blah, blah. Numbers. This seems significant since 1,296 is an important cosmic number in the Vedic Yuga cycles outlined above. Okay, this is the problem with it. You can find significance with every single number. There's oddities and quirks with every single number, I would imagine. The fact that this new periodicity of 3i Atlas, similar to the 16.16 hours, resonates with the Earth's rotational cycle only adds weight to the proposal that a form of cosmic fractionalization involving fractions and multiples of cosmic numbers such as 72, 144, 432, and 1296 is at play with respect to the comet's rotational activity. I'm sure further periodicities will eventually surface in connection with 3i Atlas, and when this happens, each one should be looked at to see whether it too might conform to this cosmological timekeeping process. Yes, now, all joking aside, the reason I joke partly is because I'm not very good with these kinds of numbers. I'm a software engineer. I'm built on logic, and some of these calculations, they just go down a improbably long rabbit hole. But saying if you wanted to grab the attention of an intelligence, stuff like this might actually make sense as a kind of form of like a beacon. You know, look at me, look at this. This is odd. This is anomalous. I've seen other descriptions of potential anomalies, and I think one I read about in the past was seeding stars with very heavy elements, because there's certain very heavy elements that would not appear in stars. So I think there are examples of stars comprised of much heavier elements than they should be. They could be beacons of curiosity like that. You can't get away from the weirdness of the fact that the moon is precisely the right size to blank out the sun during an eclipse, which is very odd. So who knows, maybe this chap is right. Maybe there's something odd about 3i Atlas. I don't think saying 3i Atlas is itself sentient makes much sense. It would make more sense that if it was some kind of curiosity attractor, it would have been sent here by some intelligence outside of our solar system, or somewhere else. They might be here as well, and itself is just some artifact, a beacon to get our attention, if any of this is true, which I don't know. Maybe it's not. Thank you for joining me, but that is it for now. Make sure you hit the like button if you do indeed like me. Follow me if you like me long time, and come back in the future to see what I'm doing. And the only thing I have left to say is Pigwig out.
Oink, oinkity, snort, snuffle, snuffle, squee, oink, oink, ree, squeal, snort, snort, oinkity, squee. Oink, 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 squee, squee, ree, 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 snuffle, snort, squeal, squeal, oinky, oink, snort, snort, squee, oink, 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 ree, 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 oh. Snort, snuffle, oink, squee, squeal, ree, snort, oinkity, oinkity, oink, oink, snuffle, ree, squee, snort, oink, squeal. Oink, 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 squee, squee, ree, 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 snuffle, snort, squeal, squeal, oinky, oink, snort, snort, squee, oink, 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 ree, 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 oh. Oink, oinkity, snort, snuffle, snuffle, squee, oinkity, oink, oink, snuffle, ree, squee, snort, oink, squeal. Oink, 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 squee, squee, ree, 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 snuffle, snort, squeal, squeal, oinky, oink, snort, snort, squee, oink, 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 ree, 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 oh. Squeal, squeal. Snort, snuffle, oink, ree, squeal, ree, snort, oinky, oinkity, oink, 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 snuffle, ree, squee, snort, oink, squeal. Oink, oink, oinkity, squee, squee, ree, 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 snuffle, snort, squeal, squeal, oinky, oink, snort, snort, squee, oink, 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 ree, 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 oh. Squeal, squeal, snort, snuffle, oink,